Hey guys, so I know I promised a custom build. This is something that you might have read on the Thumper Talk forum. Chuck actually is a gentleman on the Thumper Talk forum, well known, has a lot of great knowledge. He's actually the one that inspired me to build the custom Xr I have back there, which again, we'll do a review video on that at some point here. Today we're going to be talking about the custom build of how to do it. So I know a lot of you have a lot of love for the Xr200 bike. Low maintenance, a lot of fun to ride, great torque, tractor in the mud. Obviously you're not going to go out to a racetrack and dominate the races, but it is an absolute blast to ride. One of the most fun bikes I think ever produced, and there's tons of them out there. So you can usually get one at a decent price, especially in the off months like in the winter. So if you're looking for an Xr200, pick one up in the winter time, put it in the shed, keep it till summer, or work on it during the winter and make it how you want it. The best year to buy the full suspension setup parts for this 200 would be the 1986 Xr250 all the way to 89. Those parts are labeled as direct bolt-on, so there's no welding, no cutting, no fabrication that's needed to put it together. You just have to know how to turn a wrench. So that's the bike we have back here. So literally those parts unbolt and bolt directly on. There are a few minor adjustments. I'll go over that with another video, but for this video we're just going to be talking about what we have here. This is a 1995 Xr250. So technically, from what I've read, it's not possible for this to be put together. So there's going to be a little bit of fabrication work to do. I mean, I've seen people with the MD30 swing arm on this 200, so I'm sure that will bolt up. The triple tree part, that's the part where we're probably going to have to do a little work, and we'll get into that in the videos at a later time. So basically what's going to come off of this bike will be these triple trees, and that is going to be installed onto this bike here. And then also, if you look at the rake on the newer Xr200s, the rake on this bike actually sits back, actually it sits forward more. So if I was to take an 87 or an 89 or a 91 or a 90 and I put this suspension on here, it would actually sit up a whole inch taller. So for a lot of people, when you add this suspension to this bike, it's already going to be pretty tall. I mean, I'm 6 foot even, so my bike is super tall. And if I used an older frame, it would probably be too tall, unless I installed a low rig. So if you're going to build a bike, especially like this, you're going to want to have 2002 all the way back to 1990, I believe 91 is the last year they put the good suspension on the Xr200s, and it's the last year where they kept the rake the same on the front of the bike. So with that being said, we're going to be using this 95. It's got disc brakes on front and back, which obviously the 200 does not have. If you do vintage motocross racing, the 200 is kind of the best bike. It's the bike of choice for a lot of people. A lot of people ride it at vintage days in Ohio, down near Columbus. So when you add this suspension on, I'm not sure if they'll let you race with disc brakes on a 200. I imagine they might frown on that because it's not stock, right? But you'd probably have to check in with somebody if you wanted to see if this setup would work on this bike for racing. But if you're just going to ride it on the trail, fantastic setup. I can tell you, and you can look at some of the other videos of us riding. We went down to Wellsville. That's one of the biggest places to ride on the East Coast in the US. And then we also went to Mines and Meadows, which is a great place to ride if you want to go somewhere where you can just pay and go and ride and not worry about anything. So this shock here is probably, I mean, as far as we'll measure everything out and make sure to put that in the video. It's a bit taller than your standard shock on the 200, obviously. So like I said, I wanted to mention that rake. You see how the rake sits on that bike. It isn't super back. If you look at an older bike, the rake actually sits back further so that these forks actually will make the bike taller. And you can see they put a stock yellow shock on here. It's non-rebuildable. There's no reservoir on it. So that's just a typical 200 you'd see anywhere. And then of course this bike, you have the disc brakes, longer forks. They're beefier by several millimeters. So that's why we need these triple trees that will be installed on there. You have a reservoir now, so we'll have to make something to mount to the to the existing frame that we're going to be using over there. All of this linkage and swing arm will be used on the bike. So basically all the parts we take off of this one, we'll have to take off of that one. And then, you know, we're going to have a disc brake back here too. And that's one of our bigger problems, is we'll have to cut this off of here to get it to fit. So like I said, this is not a direct bolt on, and we are going to have to fabricate some things to make that work on the new bike. This bike, I think it was just outside. We bought it off a gentleman, and I think he took the motor off for something else. I guess the motor ran, but he had no use for the frame anymore. So we picked this up. It came with a carburetor. He said it was a 230 carb on a 250 bike. I don't know if that's true or not. I haven't looked at it. But I'm sure we'll get into that in a later video. But yeah, this is basically the parts you'll need to do this. I would not recommend buying all these parts on eBay. You'd probably spend a small fortune. If you can pick up a parts bike like this that rolls, that's going to be way better, more bang for your buck. We got this bike for $250. So I mean, just the forks alone would be worth that on eBay. So with all the parts we have here, I think we can really make something special out of this 200 over here. And so it's going to sit a lot taller, it's going to be a lot meaner, and it's going to be a lot more competitive in the trail, you know, because this bike here bottoms out quite a bit because it's so short. But Honda made these 2002 back to 92 bikes for beginners, people that just wanted to learn. So if you want to make it a little bit more competitive and add an edge to your 200, you're going to need these parts. So basically, yeah, that's what we have. Well, that's what we're going to be building off of in the next couple months. So we're really excited to get this rocking and rolling.
Oh, yeah.
He can't wait.
I'm really excited to get back inside where it's warm. It's 20 degrees out here.
Yeah, he's out here suffering for you folks. So you make sure you like and subscribe to the channel because it is stinking cold. But we're having a lot of fun doing this. We're happy to be able to bring these videos to you guys and just kind of share some of the cool stuff we do in the garage. So
yeah, if you got kids or grandkids, hey, it's good pastime. No male bonding.
Yeah. It's the kind of thing, you know, you finish up your long days of work, you grab a Yingling and you sit back and you take a look at what you've worked on in the garage and appreciate all the hours and all the toil that you put into it. And yeah, we're just excited to get this project underway. And just to kind of show you what we're shooting for when we're done, it's going to be pretty much like this bike. This is a 2002 Xr200. You can see just how much room there is between the wheel and the fender. You know, this bike sits up super high. Like I said, this is a 1986 part, so this is not an MD30 swing arm. It bolts right up, and it has a drum brake in the back. So obviously we're going for something a little bit more special over here with the dual disc brakes and the MD30 swing arm, which in my opinion is much better because then you don't have to use that crazy bolt-on system to tighten and adjust your chain, which is something I'll be envious of when we get this done. So yeah, pretty cool. If you have any questions, comments, videos you'd like to see, I know I promised that we would be going out to the largest junkyard in the East Coast. We are. I just talked to the owner the other day. We're getting his approval to come out there. I have a drone. We're gonna get some aerial shots for you guys. So we're just really excited to show you that place. I love the junkyard. He loves it too.
Yeah.
He freaking hates it.
I love tooling around in the mud.
The place is a mess, but they have awesome parts.
Yes, they do. And
if you need a part, that's definitely a great place to go. And I'm sure if you called them, they would even ship you something. So if you see something in the video and you need it, you can give Cycle Salvage a call. We'll get all the information to you guys in the next video. So, all right, thanks guys, appreciate it, and you have a great day. Bye.